as we face this challenging time with this pandemic. But I want to assure everyone out there that we are doing our best, we have our best, and everyone is stepping up to the plate to ensure your safety and security while at the polling locations. So first, let me introduce those who've come, who are present today, and I appreciate you all being here. So first of all, I want to introduce the woman who runs all the elections in Bernalillo County, our county clerk, Linda Stover. Also with us today is the chair of our Bernalillo County Commission, Lonnie Talbert, Commissioner. And also our Chief Deputy District Attorney, Chuck Barth. Thank you, Chuck. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. So I mentioned briefly at the beginning all the challenges of this with this general election, and it's of course due to this horrible pandemic that we're facing. So with everything that we have, as I said, we're doing everything possible to make sure that everyone feels safe. The clerk and I spoke several weeks ago in preparation for the election, and I vowed to her and I promised her that we would have staff such as deputy county managers, directors, assistant directors, anybody, all employees. We're going to assist you, Madam Clerk. It's going to be an all hands on deck situation, me included. I'll be there. We'll be greeters. We'll also be sanitizing ballot stations or whatever you need. We are there for you, Madam Clerk. We're there for the public, and we want to assure you we will do everything we can to make sure that you all are safe. So at this time, I'd like to bring up our chair of the Bernalillo County Commission, Commissioner Lonnie Talbert.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you all. These are interesting times that we're all living through right now. But the one thing that hasn't changed is our constitutional right to vote. Our opportunity every 2 years, every 4 years, to go to the polls and make sure that we cast that ballot that we feel makes the most sense to us, that we feel provides us the best hope for the future. And although this year has been anything but normal, the right to vote hasn't changed. It's more important than ever that we get out there and we actually take that right and make that vote. Whether you choose to do it in person, which my wife and we did on Monday. We went to the county clerk's annex. We did it live and in person. It was safe, it was secure, it was clean, it was efficient. After each person who went up and said who they were to get their ballot, one of the county clerk's team was wiping down the pen pad, the signature pad. After each person left the ballot area where they cast their vote, everything was wiped down. And after they walked over and we put our ballot in and we heard the ding and we got our I voted sticker, which made us proud, it was clean. People were not being aggressive. Everyone was distanced. And that's what we need now more than ever. We need compassion, we need humanity, and we need people to respect each other's right to go on November 3rd and cast their vote. Early voting starts tomorrow around the county. And you can count on the county support, like Julie said, to help Madam Clerk and her team, who have done an amazing job getting ready for this, not only, again, every 4-year event or every 2-year event, but even more important during this time of uncertainty, of change, but of optimism and hope as well. So go out and vote. And if you can't do it in person, if you're not comfortable with that, that's okay. Mail in your absentee ballot. You can take your absentee ballot to a drop box. Whatever you feel comfortable with, all of those opportunities are provided to you. So once again, you feel safe, secure, and comfortable. Thank you all. Madam Clerk, it's your show.
Good morning, everyone. I want to thank you all for making the time to come out here today. This is a big election, and I want to talk about it a little bit. Last March, when we found out that we were going to be doing an election during a pandemic, we all kind of freaked out because it was something that we had to reschedule and refigure out. I am grateful for our county manager, our chairman of our county commission. A lot of our poll workers and election workers are seniors, so they were in right scared to come and vote the elections. Our staff through the county stepped up and helped us do that election, and it turned out extremely well. It was a big election, the biggest actually absentee ballot election Bernalillo County had ever had, and it was a primary election. So now we're coming into the general. The pandemic is still here. But I want to give you a little history on all this, because this election is going to be overseen by the county clerks in each county. There are a lot of people that are talking about the election. There's a lot of excitement about the election, but I want to talk about that a little bit. A few years ago, the New Mexico legislature gave authority to handle elections to each county clerk in each county. And they are truly the only authorized person to handle an election in that county. There are lots of people that speak about it. There's lots of people that are giving advice. But for you, you need to go to a trusted election spot to get your information. In Bernalillo County, that's berncovotes.org, that's my webpage, or the Secretary of State's webpage, which is newmexicovote.org. Those are the two trusted election sites. There's lots of information, there's lots of talking heads, but those are the people that have the authority, that have the jurisdiction over this election. Nobody else does. Nobody else in the county, nobody else in the state, just us. So be aware of that and go to your trusted election sites. I want to thank my staff. I've got a fantastic staff that are very qualified election people. If you have any questions, you can come to 243-VOTE and get answers. We are open at the annex right now. We have had a line every morning waiting to vote. Every morning. Last night we had 10 people at 5 o'clock, so we had to stay open. I want to give you a little idea of who all we've had, how many we've had. So far this morning we had 26 people in line. There was a 5 to 10 minute wait. We had voted 150 people about 30 minutes ago. Totally in early voting, we've voted 5,550 people. We have accepted 45,000 absentee ballots that have come into the clerk's office. 45,000, and it's, look, we're only 19 days out, so that's very, very good. You can vote early, you can vote absentee. We've got drop boxes here at the county. We've got drop boxes in each polling location. Tomorrow early voting starts. There will be 18 early voting sites. Each early voting site will have a drop box where you can drop off your ballot. If you go and there's a line and it looks long, remember that we're social distancing. They'll be 6 feet apart, so it may not be as long as you think it is. And also, if you let the poll worker realize that you're there with the ballot, they'll extradite you to the front of the line and let you put it in the drop box. We're excited for this election. In my lifetime, I don't care if you're 18 and voting for the very first time, or you're 90 and you've voted your entire life. This is probably going to be the biggest election any of us have ever participated in. There's passion on both sides. That's wonderful. I want you to remember when you go to the polls that the people working at the polls are citizens of Bernalillo County. The Bernalillo County Clerk's Office frames the election, and then we have citizens of Bernalillo County that come in and work these elections. So when you go and it's busy and you have to stand in line, be kind to these people. You'll only be there 20 or 30 minutes. They're going to be there all day long, and they're doing it for you. They've stepped forward to help you. You'll be safe at the polling locations. You're welcome to come in, or you can vote absentee. I want to thank you guys for being here. It's a big election. Always go to a trusted election site. Always remember that your county clerk and the Secretary of State are the only authority that have jurisdiction over this election. No one else. So go to a trusted site, go to a trusted county clerk official. All righty, Mr. Barth, are you going to introduce him, Julie? I want to introduce the Chief Deputy District Attorney, Chuck Barth. He's going to talk about what happens to you if you start messing with the elections. Don't do it.
Good morning, Commissioner Talbert. Madam Morgas, Baca, Madam Clerk. Every voter, regardless of party affiliation, is entitled to an election and inspected to be fair and free of intimidation. Let me repeat that. Every voter, regardless of party affiliation, is entitled to vote in an election and expected to be fair and free of intimidation. In anticipation of the upcoming election, under the direction of Bernalillo County District Attorney Raul Torres, the DA's office has recently provided training to the Albuquerque Police Department and members of the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Department on relevant election laws. Additionally, on Election Day, our office will be staffed by experienced deputy district attorneys to provide election law related advice to poll workers and local and county law enforcement officers on any issues or problems that may arise. We also have special agents from the Bernalillo County District Attorney's Office who will be stationed throughout the county and monitoring election activities. There are several statutes available. Among the statutes that cover the elections is New Mexico Statute 1-20-14, which makes it a fourth-degree felony punishable by up to 18 months in jail to threaten, harm, or induce fear for the purpose of suppressing the vote or interfering with the election. There's another statute, New Mexico Statute 1-20-13.1, which is also a fourth-degree felony, which makes it a crime for someone to compel a voter to vote against the voter's will. There are also a myriad of misdemeanor statutes that I'm not going to go through today that also cover the conduct of the election. I want to stress to the public that the Bernalillo County District Attorney's Office will investigate fully any attempts to interfere with this election, and if appropriate, will prosecute violators to the fullest extent of the law. And I also want to remind voters, when you go to the early voting places or you go to a voting place on Election Day, wear your mask and socially distance. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chuck. So as you all have heard, voter safety, both physical and personal, and your personal health is at the forefront of this election. So just know and understand, we are there for you. We are there to protect you. I want to thank Madam County Clerk Linda Stover. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to participate in this election with you. It's an honor. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chairman Talbert, thank you for being here and for sharing your experience with us. I mean, that's really important. So we urge each and every one of you, exercise your right to vote, please. So at this time, we'll take any questions that the media may have. I will have our county clerk come and answer those questions for you. And again, I just would like to thank everyone again for being here. And don't forget, Tuesday, November 3rd is Election Day. So thank you so much. Have a beautiful day. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Wear your masks. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your families. God bless. Madam Clerk.
Hi, Jessica.
You said 45,000 absentee ballots have been turned in.
Have been accepted, yes.
Accepted. How does that compare to the same time 4 years ago?
I don't know, I wasn't here. But I know that that's larger than it's ever been in the past. We're breaking records every day with the voting numbers that we're getting in.
What about staff allowance? I know that was, primary. You had a lot of absentee ballots turned in, and you had some people you sent home early to
We have established that. We have an absentee board, and they will work now by statute until 11 o'clock at night on election day, and then come back the next day at 10, I believe it is, and resume counting at that time. On election day in the primary, we had 17,000 absentee ballots turned into the polls. So I want to ask anybody that's voting in Bernalillo County, if you've got a ballot, fill it out and either mail it and drop it now. Don't do it later. If you're going to vote in person, vote early. The earlier you vote and get your stuff in, the earlier we'll be able to get organized and give you results on election night. So don't wait. Most of you know how you're going to vote. Go ahead and do it and get it out of the way so you don't have to do it at the last minute. Thank you.
How many absentee ballots did you issue?
I actually have that, 151,000. That's a lot. And we've gotten 45,000 of them back.
Have there been any threats of voter intimidation or any incidents so far at the early voting location?
No, ma'am. We have had no problems at all. People have been gracious and kind. They've been patient in the lines. We've had long lines every day. I hope it continues to be that way. I feel very blessed about that right now. We're doing well.
Madam Clerk, we can't hear the question. Can you repeat the question?
Oh, I'm sorry, yes. She asked me if there'd been any threats or intimidations at the early voting site, and there's been none. People have been very patient, and we've had long lines every day. We've had people waiting every morning. So I feel very blessed with that. People are being considerate and kind. There's no problems at all. It's very smooth. She asked me how many absentee ballots had been accepted. We've got 45,000 accepted ballots returned to us right now. We've mailed out 151,000 ballots. So we're doing really well on returns of those.
I know you said that with the DA's office that they trained APD and CSO about what's appropriate or allowed. Are there will there be officers at the polling sites, or are they just called in on
They'll be called in if needed. It'll come through our hotline to Nathan Adamio, and he'll make the determination and then notify either our law enforcement or the DA's office. The number, if there is a problem that anybody wants to look, is 243-VOTE. That if you want to call and ask or do anything, again, BerncoVotes.org is the clerk's email address. nmvote.org is the Secretary of State's web page address. Go to those sites. Those are the trusted sites in Bernalillo County. Those are the only folks that actually have authority over this election. So go to trusted sites. I know people mean well. There's all kinds of information out there. But go to people you know their business. Anything else? I appreciate you guys coming. It's such a big deal. This election's going to be huge. We're luckily all the way staffed. This time, people have come forward. The county has been fantastic. The chairman has been supportive. I don't think a clerk could ask for more in doing a pandemic election than what they've given me. So I feel very, very fortunate for this, and I thank you all for being here today. Vote early. Thank you.